Hello and welcome to Faith in 5. Today we'll be looking at the causation argument by Thomas Aquinas. It is worth knowing that Aquinas is not the original author of the argument, but that he adapted cosmological or causation arguments from Islamic scholars coupled with the earlier ideas from Greek philosophy, such as Aristotle and his prime mover argument. Aquinas begins the argument by saying that everything needs a cause to exist, as nothing can come from nothing. For example, we have been caused to exist, our parents were caused to exist, as were their parents, and so on. We can continue to say that every single thing in the world must have been caused. Consider a domino chain. Each domino is toppled by the one before it, but something outside of the chain of dominoes must have caused the falling to begin. This could be a gust of wind, or a human hand. In the same way, something beyond the world, or rather, something that transcends the world, must have caused the world to exist. Now, as you cannot keep saying was caused by ad infinitum, you must conclude that there was a first cause that itself did not need to be caused. This cause that is beyond time and space, beyond the universe, can only be God, meaning he must exist in order to be the cause. This is the crux of the argument, though Aquinas goes into much greater detail in his Summa Theologica. In order to state the argument in an exam paragraph, the argument is more simply put like this. Everything needs a cause to exist. This means the world needs a cause. The cause would have to be omnipotent, beyond space, time, and the universe, and without need of a cause. The only thing that could be the first cause is God. So God exists to be the cause of the world. In order to support the argument, we can adapt and deploy Hoyle's junkyard jet argument. Instead of referring to design, we can focus on causation. Hoyle says if a tornado blew through a junkyard with all the parts of a plane in it, what are the chances of it causing a fully working jet plane? None. The world is even less likely to have been caused by chance. This means it must be the work of God. William of Ockham came up with the concept of a razor to shave back any unnecessary points in an argument. His theory states that the simplest explanation is always the best. And so, as explaining the Big Bang, and how the singularity led to a cosmic soup, which led to single-cell life forms, and then to the complex ones that we see today via evolution and natural selection is no simple thing, we conclude it is best to state it was God. The Bible can also be deployed to support the argument, as in Genesis, God is shown to speak the world into existence. Let there be light, and there was light. This clearly shows he was the cause. Again, many of the critiques for the design argument can be adapted to counter the causation argument. Dawkins would argue that if everything needed a cause, then God does, and the cause of God would also need a cause, and that cause would need a cause, and so on. But, as you cannot keep saying was caused by ad infinitum, you should abandon the argument as it is illogical. Hume would argue that we lack evidence. He was an empiricist, and he believed if you could not weigh it, see it, or measure a thing, it was not real. As a wise man bases his belief on the evidence, a lack of it proves the non-existence of God. He also argued that just because the earth needs a cause, it does not follow that it has to be God. It could be a pantheon of gods or a group of gods. It could be a powerful species we do not yet know of, or the universe could even be infinite and not actually require a cause at all. This would fit with Bertrand Russell's idea that the world is simply a brute fact that we need to accept with no hint of a creator. Further to this, many criticise the causation argument of shoehorning God into the explanation of the universe. Religious people make an assumption that because science cannot explain it, it must be God. While science cannot disprove God, it has provided substantial proof for the Big Bang. One day, it will be able to explain away the idea of God. Finally, some argue that we do have enough evidence to make it very unlikely that God is needed to be the cause. Background radiation and the expanding universe support the Big Bang, and then fossil evidence and living examples of evolution, like Darwin's finches, prove the universe was created by the singularity and later refined through natural selection in the process of evolution. While the causation argument, or cosmological argument, is not conclusive, Aquinas' words express it well when he says, "For those with faith, no evidence is necessary. For those without faith, no explanation is possible." Despite proofs and counter-arguments, along with various pieces of evidence, it is simply belief which dictates the existence or non-existence of God. So what do you think? That was your Faith in 5.